One of the things about people is that when you push them away, something amazing happens psychologically, right? And I bet a lot of us have done that when we date people, right? And we're in love with them. And as soon as we fall out of love, we start to push them away. And we think that we could just push them away and they're going to agree to it, right? Actually, we all fear that if we push them away or if we treated them wrong, they're going to lift, their self-esteem is going to come up and they're going to stand up to you and push you away too. Well, what surprises people is that the opposite tends to happen. What tends to happen is that people all of a sudden give you the control over the dynamic. When you push people away, it forces them to make a decision. And this is what you're limiting their options. You're literally limiting their options. Pushing them away gives you control over the dynamic. And it's people get afraid when I say to push them away. But the thing is that you're afraid of that because you don't know human nature. When you push someone away, their self-esteem is not going to tell them leave you. Their self-esteem is actually going to tell them, hey, if they push you away, that means they have something worth of value. And they actually start acting like children, like a child who's rejected by their parents, right? And that fear will debilitate them. You might think that if you push them away, they're gonna act confident and leave. No, if they actually like you or they have some chemistry with you, what would happen is that fear will literally flood their bodies. Fear will flood their bodies, flood their minds, and it'll completely debilitate them. And what will happen is that they're going to start all of a sudden making mistakes. And mistakes are these. Usually people are under control. They try to control their emotions. They try to control how they express themselves, what they feel. They try to control and not tell you that, right? Instinctively. But when you push them away, all of those defenses go down. And all of a sudden they start throwing Hail Marys to you. And what tends to happen, people get more emotional. People tell you the truth. People start expressing their emotions more, but there's a danger to that. Sometimes this inflammation of emotions can be temporary, and sometimes it's permanent, right? It's 50-50, right? So it's kind of like whenever you do this, you have to be aware a few days or weeks later to see if they rebound back to their behavior, right? And so pushing them away will force them to make a decision that can only bring you power if you're willing to walk away, right? Now, why do you push people away, right? You don't push people away for the sake of pushing them away. That's psychopathic, people. Can't be doing that, right? You push them away because they don't meet your standards. That's why you push them away. You don't push them away for manipulation. You push them away as a defense for their bullshit, right? So pushing away is not an offensive weapon. It's really because you sense some toxicity, some evil shit coming through them, right? And everyone has flaws. So this is why I tell people, you do not need to calculate when to push them away. I could promise you, if people are human beings, they're gonna do something eventually that could cause you to push them away. And if you miss out on that opportunity, that's on you. And if you miss out on that opportunity, they notice that you're missing out. They notice you're not saying something. People know when you're accepting bullshit. People can sense that, and it invigorates them, and it causes them to get more aggressive and potentially push you away and reverse their dynamic. So if people don't meet your standards, push them the hell away. People eventually will not meet your standards. Within the first few months, they're going to show traits that don't meet your standards. And what you have to do is push them away either verbally or physically. Now, people, calm the fuck down, okay? Not physically like that, but literally physically in terms of I can't be around you, right? Or verbally saying, hey, look, you're not good for me. I'm not good for you. We can't be together. I'm toxic for you, or you're toxic for me. Whatever the hell you think, verbally tell them that this will not work out and that this is not good and that this is not a good relationship. What would happen is that verbally telling them to leave you alone or that to end it and to tell them don't come back to me, don't see me and stuff like that, right? This will cause them to do something special, right? And it'll cause them to qualify themselves to you, right? Qualification is pretty much when they start to sell themselves to you, when they start to tell you why you should be with them. And what happens psychologically is that when people try to convince you that you should be with them, something psychological happens. They end up falling in love with you because they backward rationalize that if I'm telling you why you should be with me, it means that you are special to me. And people tend to fall in love through qualification. And what is qualification? An example: you're in an interview, and you know you're the only one in the interview, right? You're the only one. You're the only one who's applying for this job, right? You're not gonna really sell yourself too much, especially if you know they really want you. You're not gonna sell themselves. You're gonna lean back, turn on, put your go like that. Why should I work for you? Why? Why should I work for you? Right? And they start qualifying. And in the process of qualification, there's a nervousness, there's a fear, there's an anxiety, and there is a leverage that you have when people are selling themselves to you or trying to convince you should be with them. And this leverage will will give you the opportunity and the ability to set standards, to set a price. Like, you know how people say, you know how to say it, right? Make them lick your ass, right? You set that standard, and it actually, if they actually do it, the process of jumping the hoops you set for them makes them fall in love with you more. And also, it makes them not want to be in that position anymore. So they tend to behave a little bit more. And as they try to convince themselves, they fall in love in the process. But this can only be temporary, right? This can be temporary, a few weeks, or it can be permanent. So that's why you have to wait it out, right? And this is why when you have standards, you tend to do this naturally, right? But when you don't have standards, you tend to not do this. That's just how that works, right? You tend to forget to do this because your fear will cause you to sort of like give off the vibe that you already won me over. Like, give off the vibe that I want you and you don't need to do anything. And so it doesn't have that anxiety that you feel when you know there's 100 other people applying for this job. And so the nervousness will cause you to dress better, to be more on time, to be more tidy, to be more professional, to be on your best motherfucking behavior, right? But when you're cocky about it, when you think like they want me and not vice versa, you tend to be more lazy about it. And this is why romanticism has to come with some insecurity, because people are only romantic when they need to. People are only romantic when they feel the need, when you really when they feel like they're behind the corner, right? And this is why when people fuck up, they give you flowers, right? When people do something bad, they tend to do something for you. Well, romanticism is a token of my forgiveness. I mean, of my insecurities, right? It's a token. And so if they're not being romantic with you, you just easily won over. And let me tell you something. People might say it's manipulation, but you gotta understand. People like people that are a little bit difficult. People like people who are not easily won over, right? So one of the best ways, push them away when they fuck up. Don't be afraid to say you want your space. Don't be afraid to say, you know what, the discussion we had, I didn't like it. I need to think about things. Don't be afraid to make them wait on your decision, right? Because your anxiety for their validation will cause you to speed things up and not go through this process. Even if you won them over, you got to make them feel like you're thinking about it, right? So this will make them feel like they won you over. They earn your love and attention. Always be on the lookout for those standards that you could set up. And that's how you do it, man. If you guys want to learn how to develop a meditation practice, click in the description down below and purchase my course, Emotional Mastery. There, I teach you guys how to develop a meditation practice, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.